Anatomy of heart. Heart is a muscular organ that acts like a pump to continuously send blood throughout your body. The heart is at the center of the circulatory system. This system consists of a network of blood vessels such as arteries, veins, and capillaries. These blood vessels carry blood to and from all areas of the body. Location, size, and shape of the heart. Heart is located under the sternum in a thoracic compartment called the mediastinum, which is occupies the space between the lungs. It is approximately the size of man breast, 250 to 350 gram, shaped like an inverted cone. Pericardium layer. Surrounding the heart is a fibrous sac called the pericardium, which performs the several functions. Fluid within the sac lubricates the outer wall of the heart so it can beat without causing friction. It also holds the heart place in forms a barrier against infection and helps to keep the heart from overexpanding. Pericardial cavity of heart as shown in this figure. The heart wall is composed of three layers: epicardium, myocardium, endocardium. Heart wall as shown in this figure: myocardium, endocardium, pericardial cavity. The epicardium is a serous membrane that consists of an external layer of simple squamous and inner layer of alveolar tissue. The squamous cells secrete the lubricant fluid into the pericardial cavity. Thick middle layer of the heart wall is called the myocardium. It consists of numerous layers of cardiac muscle fibers that wrap around the heart wall. Contraction of the myocardium pumps blood out of the heart into the aorta and pulmonary trunk arteries. The endocardium is made up of thin layer of simple squamous cells and alveolar tissue similar to the epicardium. Secretions from the squamous cells help to regulate the activities of myocardium. Chambers of the heart: right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. The superior chamber consists of the right atrium and left atrium, which lie primarily on the posterior side of the heart. Extending anteriorly from each thin-walled atrium is a small ear-shaped appendage called auricle that expands the volume of the chamber. Blood drains into the atria from the pulmonary and systemic circulatory system. Composing the lower chambers are right ventricle and left ventricle, which are much larger than atria. Right atrium. The right atrium, shown in this figure, superior vena cava, right atrium, and inferior vena cava. The RA receives venous drainage from sources. The SVC superiorly draining the azagus, jugular, and subclavian veins. The IVC inferiorly draining the lower body. The coronary sinus inferiorly draining the heart. The coronary sinus inferiorly draining the heart. The anterior cardiac vein anteriorly draining in front of the heart. Right ventricle. As shown in this figure, the right ventricle consists of a large inlet sinus and a smaller outlet conus portion separated by the supraventricular. Left atrium. The left atrium is smaller than the right with thicker walls as shown in this figure. Left ventricle. The LV consists of a large trabecular inlet sinus and a small smooth walled outer portion. Left ventricle as shown in this figure. Circulatory system. The major vessels of the heart are large arteries and veins that attach to atria, ventricles, and transport blood to and from the systemic circulatory system and pulmonary circulatory system. Blood is derived to right atrium from systemic circulatory system by two veins. The superior vena cava transport oxygenated depleted blood from the upper extremities, heart and neck. The inferior vena cava transport oxygenated depleted blood from thorax, abdomen, and lower extremities. Blood exits the right ventricle through the pulmonary trunk artery, approximately 2 inches superior to the base of the heart. This vessel branches into left and right pulmonary arteries, which transport blood into the lungs. The left pulmonary veins and right pulmonary veins return oxygenated blood from lungs to left atrium. Blood passes from left atrium into left ventricle and then pumped into the systemic circulatory system through a large elastic artery called aorta. The aorta, as shown in this figure, ascending aorta, descending aorta, arch of aorta. The branches of aorta, right subclavian artery, branches of iliac artery, left subclavian artery, and the right coronary artery, left coronary artery. Supply of heart, as shown in this figure. The blood receives from SVC and IVC. Deoxygenated blood enters into right atrium. From right atrium to blood enters right ventricle for oxygenation purpose. Right ventricle to blood goes pulmonary arteries into the lungs for oxygenation. After oxygenation, lungs send oxygenated blood in pulmonary veins into left atrium. Then blood enters left atrium into left ventricle. The blood from left atrium to sent to aorta for systemic circulation. Cardiac walls. The walls occupy a central position between the mitral and tricuspid walls, with the pulmonary wall slightly superior anterior to the left. Heart valves as shown in this figure: pulmonary valve, tricuspid valve, aortic valve, mitral valve. Aortic valve, pulmonary valve, tricuspid valve, mitral valve as shown in this figure. Tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve. Door between right atrium and right ventricle. Pulmonary valve. Pulmonary valve opens when blood flow from the ventricle to pulmonary artery. The only artery carries deoxygenated blood to lungs. Mitral valve. Mitral valve. Door between the left atrium and left ventricle. Aortic valve. Aortic valve opens when blood flows out of left ventricle to aorta, artery that carries oxygenated blood to body. Coronary arteries and veins. The coronary arteries are two main distributions, right and left, supplied by three vessels: right coronary artery, left anterior descending, and circumflex artery. Right coronary artery. The right coronary artery arises from an ostium in the right sinus of valvatia, gives off an infundibular branch and then a branch to SA node earlierly and runs immediately into the deep right AV groove where it gives off RV branches to anterior wall. The acute marginal is a large branch which crosses the acute margin of the heart to travel the apex in right atrium. Dominant heart, the RCA, reaches the crux of the heart where it turns 90 to from PDA, which runs towards apex in posterior interventricular groove. Inferior septums, which supply the one third of intraventricular septum, arise at 9 from the PDA. Coronary arteries, as shown in this figure: right coronary artery, circumflex coronary artery, left anterior descending artery. Left anterior descending artery. The LAD runs down the anterior intraventricular groove to apex of the heart, usually extending around the apex to the posterior intraventricular groove and territory of the PDA. The circumflex artery. The circumflex artery from the LMS and runs medially to the LA appendages from 2 to 3 cm, containing the posterior left AV groove to circumflex of the heart. The left dominant heart circumflex turn into the posterior interventricular groove from the posterior descending artery. In 80 to 90% of the heart PDA arises from the right coronary artery. About 5% of are dominant. A variable number of stress marginals arise from the circumflex to supply the posterior LV. They are frequently intramuscular. The first branch of circumflex AV nodal artery in 45 which goes around the LA near AV groove. Venous drainage of the heart. The coronary sinus runs in the posterior AV groove, draining into RA with great cardiac means. The patient is empty directly into the heart. Conduction system of heart. The conduction system of heart consists of a cardiac muscle and conducting fibers that are specialized from initiating impulse and conducting them rapidly through the heart. They initiate the normal cardiac cycle and coordinate the contractions of cardiac chambers. System of heart as is shown in the figure. SA node, AV node, bundle of his Francogen fibers. Four major components for conduction of the heart: SA node, AV node, AV bundle, the bundle of his. Applied anatomy of heart: congenital heart diseases, ischemic heart diseases, hypertensive heart diseases, valvular heart diseases, myocardial diseases. Like, share, subscribe. Perfusion Talks. For more content, please do subscribe our channel.